Good morning. Happy Friday. It is Meg Rogers here, coming from you live from Meg Rogers Nutrition Coaching. All right, guys. Have you ever been afraid to just be you? Like you're entering into relationships, you're going new places and you're meeting these new people and you're like, I call it friend dating and stuff, where, I honestly think when I'm like trying to make new friends and stuff, it's like dating, you're basically like, oh, how are we going to get along? How are we going to mesh? And it's really complicated. So when you're entering into these new relationships, are you fearing that you're going to slip up for not fitting into society's cookie cutter mold? If that is you, drop me a heck yeah. That was me. Let's talk about my faith, because one person who has hid in the shadows for 3 years ghosting me clearly has an opinion in how I live my life and talk about Jesus. And I get it. I shared Monday, about, people are going to judge you for this and people are going to judge you for not doing that. People are always going to judge you. You are not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, especially when it comes to my faith and my personality. So like I said, said person was offended that I say that I'm a Christian. Hey, Carrie. They were offended that I say that I'm a Christian, but I use the term or the acronym AF. For those that don't know what AF stands for, it stands for as fuck. Guess what? I'm an F-bomb mom. Here's the truth. I'm an F-bomb mom. I am not a cookie cutter. I will break the box that you feel that I should fit into. I'm not going to fit into it. And that is why many people don't like me, because I make them uncomfortable because I don't conform. So here's the plain and simple truth. I love Jesus. He is the center of my life. He's the center of my family's life. We talk about him all the time, every single day. I stumble. I mess up. I am just like everybody else. Hey, Rachel. I shared yesterday that though this past year, we've been tithing the full amount, there has been some moments in my heart where I'm like, but God, I could do so much more for our family if... But this is also just as bad as not tithing. When you're not tithing with a grateful heart and you have that little bit of like, oh, but I could do so much more myself. You're not doing it with the spirit he intended, and that's just as bad. So if you're coming here, you're going to be witnessing, especially now, the real and the raw me. Like for those that have worked with me, they know. Like Carrie knows I'm an F-bomb mom. I love Jesus, but I cuss a lot. I love my adjectives. Everybody knows this about me. Guess what? My kids, they know this too. If I ever feel convicted by him to change that, guess what? You will be the first to know, because this page is dedicated to me at being raw, being real, being truthful, to not be hiding, to just be who I am. So you will be the first to know. And outside of my husband and my kids, they'll always be first to know. Sorry. So if you're catching this live, drop a hey, let me know you're here, or just hit your favorite emoji, because I see people are watching, but I don't know who. So many times people get focused on the religious side versus who Christ is. And I am a follower of Christ, meaning I want to love people the way that he loves them. Jesus has called me to love the hell out of people and meeting them where they're at. And we forget that he spent time with the prostitutes and the drug addicts and the others that we avoid for their unholy ways, while we stay back judging them because they're beneath us. If this approach makes me sound like a misfit because I accept you. You love Jesus, but you say fuck, I accept you. I'm 100% cool with it. Carrie, yes, you are. But you are also the most loving and accepting person. Love all of your flaws. Hey, Heather. Carrie, for those that don't know, Carrie knows a lot of flaws about me, but she accepts me for who I am. And that's one thing I love about her too. So if somebody thinks that my approach to Christianity, is like the wrong way, it's not my problem. That's their problem. I don't want anyone to feel as though that they have to fit into this nice, tiny little box to be fitting into my life. Here's what I can tell you based on 4 years of coaching. People are always looking for ways to be offended. I just shared the other day, you will be judged for doing one thing and not the other. And what you will be judged for will change with each person. You will never be able to please anybody. Never. You're trying to please broken people. Guess what? You feel broken. You feel that you fear being judged by somebody else. Guess what? Those people that you're afraid of being judged for feel the exact same way you do. They just don't say it because they're afraid. those people that you are being judged on, it honestly has nothing to do with you 9 out of 10 times. It has to do with some insecurity in them. So whereas those who have a growth mindset are, like in the words of a dear friend, they're looking for growth and wisdom to take away from everything that they read versus looking to find the flaws and searching for the rule breakers. So you always know, and as a coach, this is what I always teach people, you always know who is actually in a growth mindset and wanting to better themselves and their lives for not only them but their family, and then those who are just like, oh, you're not a rule follower, oh no, this is what you're doing wrong. You always know the people that are stuck in life. Always. You can tell it within just minutes of talking to anybody, and that's okay. Like, you can be disappointed and you can even try to shame me for being who I truly am, and I love who I am. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I love who I am. I don't do titles. I know a lot of people are like, well, aren't you a Christian? Honestly, I don't do titles. I don't need the title of being a Christian. What I need is to be loving people the way Jesus loves them. That's what I need to be doing. Actions speak so much louder than words. So many times people use the term Christian and they hide behind it while throwing out their judgments, while they hide their sins. And I've honestly found, I've said this before in other videos, that Christians tend to be the most judgy people there are because they're so focused on the religious side and not the Jesus side, and I've lived that fear of, I love Jesus, but what will people think if they learn my secret that I swear? Because of those who choose to pick and choose in their own life what a real Christian should be. Why am I living my life for people? We're supposed to be living our life for Jesus. So today was the perfect example of that. I'm not convicted on that. I am not convicted to stop saying fuck. Guess what? Sorry. I'm convicted on to love the hell out of people, to meet them where they are and love them despite their imperfections and all of it. And I've actually had people avoid me because they fear I'm going to shame them because they've experienced so many judgy people like I did this morning. No, I am not offended if somebody lives their life differently than me. I'm not even offended by the woman who clearly has an issue with me this morning. I don't care. Outside of God and my husband, I don't care. In fact, I'm not even going to be responding anymore to that person because I spoke my piece. I said what all I needed to say and she kept going, and I just said, bye, Felicia, because I'm done. I'm done. I don't have to say anything else because I'm good. I feel peace in my heart. That's all that matters. And a couple of years ago, God called me to set an emotional boundaries. And I don't engage with those that I can see are on different paths than me. And, they just can't fathom why I could be this way. And so that's their issue that they need to take to Jesus, and I can see that they're going to be somebody that's going to just drain my energy versus fill my cup. So yeah, I'm going to separate myself. I have peace about it. Guess what? I'm fine. I would rather people see who I truly am up front than fearing what they're going to think when they learn the real me. Like, oh my gosh, what if I accidentally cuss or something? What are they going to think of me? Are they going to quit? And are they not going to want to be my friend anymore? Oh my gosh, no, stop worrying about that stuff. If you have to worry about that stuff, they're not your friend. And as for my words, I believe he is far more concerned if I'm speaking life or death into myself and you versus, the other stuff. So you have the choice to give somebody power over you. That person can believe whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. Just do what God called you to do and focus on that. Love and meet people where they are. Don't let the first things be about correcting them. Show them love. Get to know them and vice versa. Otherwise, it's a really great way to build a wall between you and them. And it's also a really great way for people to cement that belief that, they're going to think that being a Christian means you're constantly pointing out what they're doing wrong, which is definitely not going to lead them to him. So if you have a problem with me or anyone else that you might be following, there's a special little unfollow button. use it, but all right, I know I'm forgetting many key points I should make, but it is Friday. Rachel, I cannot love this enough. Yay. But like I said, it is Friday. It is grocery shopping day, and I actually have a date with my second child. So happy Friday. My rant is over. Thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, share it with somebody, because I feel like, especially if you are a follower of Christ and you are just trying to share Christ's love with everybody and love people as Christ loves them, a lot of people get hung up in, are they following the religious side or are they following the Christ side? So if that's you, share it. I hope that this message helps you. But all right, guys, get out there and make it awesome.